Hi, this is Tim from UK Home Gym, your home for UK specific independent home gym tips and advice. And as we move into February, I wonder if you are feeling the February blues, or maybe you are dreading the onset of the February blues. I know that I certainly have experienced this before, but I think I've developed 11 strategies that I think that I can share with you today that have certainly helped me. Maybe they'll help you too. First of all, let's talk about what are the February blues. Um, I think that when you come into the month of February, you're on the third lap of three basically in terms of the winter months. So the first lap, December. When you're coming into December, I think that that is a month full of a lot of positivity. Winter is still novel. You've got the end of the year coming up. You've got Christmas. You've got family get-togethers and stuff like that. Maybe you have sort of subscribed to this idea of the winter arc, and you have this idea in your head of emerging at the end of winter, stronger and more fit and with more muscle than ever before. There's a lot of positivity. You go into January and there's even more renewed positivity. You've made your New Year's resolutions, and you're determined to turn this year into the best year of your life in terms of your fitness journey. Um, but I feel like when you get onto that last lap, February, you're just, things are starting to drag. You're starting to feel like, oh, when is this winter ever going to end? The days are still so short. It's still cold outside. The weather's, it's not good. There's rain and sleet and all of that kind of stuff. And you're really looking everywhere for motivation, but you're just feeling, the cumulative effects of all this lack of daylight that we have here in the UK. The winter arc talk has sort of lost its momentum by this stage, and it's easy to feel this sort of general lethargy. I think there's general lethargy in the air around this time of the year. It's not just for for runners and lifters. It's out there for everybody. How can you turn it around? Here are my 11 tips. So number one is I think you need to know, you need to accept and think beforehand that the February blues are coming. Remember that it's natural to feel down at this time of the year, and it's not just you. Everybody's feeling like this, and it's not just you in terms of fitness and stuff like that. You're not the only one who's feeling like, oh, I don't really want to go out for a run. Do I have to get numb fingers and cold toes and stuff like that? And do I really need to go outside and do go and lift now? I mean, what's the point if you've got a home gym and it's in a garage and it's not heated and it's not insulated? It's not a very uplifting experience to go into that. But accept it. Remember, several months, several weeks in advance, you're gonna feel like this, and be sort of mentally prepared for it. I do think that does help. Number two is I think it's another sort of mentality thing. And that is think if you've come this far, you can come a bit further. So as I said before, it's the third lap of three, but it is the last lap, right? And this is the time when to sort of take that analogy a little step further. This is imagine it was a marathon, and you're in the sort of the last third of the marathon. This is where you need to sort of dig deep. This is where you need to fight back against the demons that are trying to tell you not to do this, that, and the other. This is where you need that resilience to come in. So if you have got this resilience, now's the time to sort of draw on it, and you'll definitely feel better about it on the other side. The third is more of a sort of practical point, and that is I think you can acclimatize to the winter a little bit, or acclimatize to cold temperatures and the cold with ice baths and cold showers and stuff like that. I feel, I do that quite a lot, and I feel like it really helps me, and I don't sort of dread the cold. In fact, I'm quite comfortable with the cold now, and I put a lot of that down to the fact that I do a lot of cold exposure throughout the year, and it's not something that I'm not in dread of the cold months and so on. So maybe that will work for you. The fourth point is maybe the sort of flip side of that is think that, okay, I am going to go out, I'm going to get numb fingers, I'm going to get um, numb toes out in my garage, working out for 45 minutes, an hour or something like that, in this unheated space. But, the flip side of this is at the end, I'm going to reward myself with a warm shower or a hot drink, maybe a coffee or whatever you like. And the same thing. I'm going to go out and I'm going to run in the cold and it's going to be miserable out there. But when I get back home, nice warm shower waiting for me. But the sort of the caveat is, I don't get that unless I do the difficult thing and go out and brave the cold, right? So, earn that warm shower or that hot drink. The fifth one is, okay, this is the time of the year when you really don't see much of the sun. There's a lot of overcast skies and the days are so short, so you don't see the sun very much. But when it does come, make the most of it. If you're a lifter, get outside. If you can. If you've got a garden or a yard or something like that, just take your stuff outside. Take whatever you can outside. Do your activities outside in the sun. Get a bit of sunlight on your face, on your arms and stuff like that, and see the sun. And I feel like that is a very uplifting thing. I don't know if it's the vitamin D or if it's if it's the effect of seeing the sunlight there, that sort of releases some sort of hormones. I don't know. I'm not an expert on these things, but I do definitely feel a lot better. So nowadays the weather forecasts, they're very accurate. They're quite accurate in down to the next week or whatever. So if you see sun in the forecast, try and try and make sure that you can get a workout done in that time. Try and sort of reshuffle your week so that you're going to be out there in that time, so you can have a run in that time, or that you can do a workout outside if possible. Number 6 is, remember that working out is your ally, not your foe at this time of the year. So it's easy to feel the pull of the lethargy, and it's easy to sort of feel, I wish I just, I prefer to just stay at home. But remember that if you do sort of skip a workout or cut it short or whatever, you will regret it at the end of the day, because when the sun's gone down, the day's finished, you'll definitely feel the effects of not sort of doing a workout. Doing a workout is going to release the endorphins. It's going to bring your body temperature up. You're really going to get a lot of advantages from doing it. So actually working out at this time of the year, is a tonic for the winter blues in itself. Number 7 is, sometimes you go out there and you're the only person running. On a sort of park, maybe you're going through a park or something like that. You're the only person out there, or you're running on a sort of popular a road where a lot of runners usually run. You're the only one there, or you're going to the gym and there's not many people in there. Take a sense of achievement from that and think, well, look, I'm doing what others won't. I'm going out when, it's cold, it's rainy, there's sleet or whatever, people are sort of looking at you a bit funny when they're driving past in their cars, thinking, I would never do that. Well, you're the one that's out there doing it. And maybe that means that you have the ability to go a little further than some other people. Number 8 is another sort of strategy that you can develop in advance, and that is set some precise exercise goals for February. And maybe there's a PB that you'd like to hit in your lifting. Maybe February is the month that you're working up to hitting that in, so that you're actually looking forward to February in a way. You're actually building towards something. Maybe you can do a race in February, or maybe you can sort of switch to a different training. Maybe you've been doing a lot of sort of base training if you're a runner, right? You've been doing a lot of base training, but you're telling yourself, right, in February, once we get into February, I'm going to do some interval training as well. I'm going to do some tempo work. It's going to be, I'm going to add some speed in there. And, maybe that is something that you look forward to. And that sort of means that you sort of have something, when you're sort of getting towards the end of January. Yeah, great. February's going to be good because I'm going to do these things. I'm going to smash my PB. I'm going to start adding some speed into my workouts. Um, Next one is specifically, number 9, specifically for runners, and that is at this time of the year. Sometimes you do get sub-zero temperatures, and that is, sometimes the case that the trails freeze up during that time, and that's fantastic because these trails that you couldn't go out on because they were just muddy, now that mud's frozen, you can actually go on them, and it's sort of like an island of time that you usually wouldn't be able to use. Now all of a sudden you can use it. You can go out onto the trails that otherwise you'd be waiting until summer to be able to use. Number 10, this is specifically for lifters. If you go to a commercial gym, if you're a commercial gym goer, enjoy the quiet of the gym at this time of the year because February, everyone comes in, it's all the resolutioners, they're all in there for a couple of weeks, and just like clockwork at the beginning of February, boom, off they go. They've lost their motivation, they're not quite up for it anymore, and you get to use a nice quiet gym where the equipment is always free whenever you need to use it. If you're a home gym user, you don't really have that to look forward to because it's always usually you or other members of your family that are using the home gym or whatever. But maybe you can reward yourself at the end of February and say, look, if I'm consistent with my workouts, maybe I'll treat myself to a little bit of a new piece of equipment, even if it's something very minor like some new lifting straps or something like that. I've got to earn it. I've got to, if I'm consistent with my training, then, or if I hit that PB I was looking for, if you want to combine that with one of my previous tips, I'm going to reward myself with a new pair of lifting straps. The last, number 11, the last tip that I want to talk about is I really think that you should use February and the February blues in particular as a chance to sort of develop your grit and determination. Because then you'll reap the rewards in spring, basically. If you can dig deep and if you can really build up your grit in this month, if you can push yourself through some of the workouts that are made extra challenging by the weather, that can definitely help you. It sort of reminds me of that passage. I think it's in the Bible in Psalms, I think, and it talks about those who go out weeping with sacks of seeds will come back joyful with sheaves of wheat or something like that. I think that's a really, it's a really powerful idea. The idea that, a little bit of pain here is going to pay off a lot in the future. So in conclusion, if you can overcome the February blues, if you can get through this month and if you can sort of thrive in this month, I think that you will likely emerge as, on the other side of it, as a stronger, faster and more determined amateur athlete. Anyway, those are my thoughts. I wonder if you have any other thoughts. Maybe you agree or disagree with me. Please let me know in the comments below. Please also, maybe you have other strategies that you use that help you get through February. Maybe you really like February. Maybe you can tell us why in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please remember to like, share and subscribe. That really helps me grow the channel. Please do check out our website. That's ukhomegym.com. And I'll see you next time on UK Home Gym.